Hello, everyone. Hi there, this is Anna, your English and effective communication coach. I'm excited to welcome everyone here. I hope you can see me and you can hear me. Please let me know in the comments if you can see and hear me okay before I jump into it. Please let me know. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, say hi in the chat. And that way I will know that you're here, you can see me, you can hear me, and you are ready to learn English. Okay, awesome. I see people are starting joining, so this is fantastic. Amazing. So first of all, how is everyone doing? Well, we are doing this week long of practicing English, and I hope you are as excited as I am. I saw how active you guys were yesterday at James' webinar. James' webinar was fantastic. I loved it so much. I was also watching it. Hopefully, my webinar is going to be as fantastic as James's yesterday, because today actually I'm going to deliver our flagship program. What is a flagship program? Flagship means the most important, right? So today, the content that I have prepared is our flagship content that no one else is teaching. It's the flagship content around tech English. So today we are going to talk all things tech English. And, let's, without any further ado, let me just jump into it. And first of all, of course, introduce myself for those of you who guys don't know me, and talk about our agenda, our program of today's webinar. So today we're talking about how you can level up your IT English in 2025. Yeah, 2025 quickly comes to an end. I think it's less than 80 days left to the end of 2025, but it's still enough time for you to do what? To upgrade your English. We're not talking about learn English to 100%. We're talking about leveling up. And you can definitely, in this 80 days, you can definitely level it up to the point when you feel comfortable. And this webinar, hopefully myself and our team will be able to help you with this, because today you are going to learn top 20 modern words and phrases for work. Imagine you're going to leave this webinar in 1 hour with 20 new modern phrases and words that you can use in your IT career. You will fix your pronunciation mistakes. I will actually show you the words that you might mispronounce and that make native speakers cringe. We will talk about 5 grammar hacks for tech professionals. I know one of the biggest things that you want to improve about your English is your grammar. So today I will tell you how you can do it quickly and effortlessly. I'm going to share secret speaking tips. I'm going to talk about top soft skills in 2025 for your career. These soft skills, every employer wants their employees to have these soft skills. So we will talk about that's why please stay till the end, because I will talk about this at the end of the webinar. And of course, at the end of the webinar, you will receive a personal roadmap for learning English in 2025. Because hey, we don't have a lot of time left in 2025. That's why you need a plan. A roadmap is a plan, and you need a personal plan. So you will have it by the end of this webinar. Also, I would like to remind you that you will start leveling up your English right now if you stay active during this webinar. Okay? So every time there is a question, write it in the chat. Every time you want to comment on something that I'm saying, say it in the chat. Because every time you write something in English, or you think about something in English, this is when you actually practice in English. That's why use this hour really wisely. Be active in the chat, contribute to the discussion, ask questions. If I can't answer the question right away, I will be able to answer the question later, or there is my team, there is English for IT team here, and they will be able to answer your questions in the comments. So don't be shy. share your comments, share your questions in the chat. Please do not share spam or irrelevant messages, offensive language. Don't be rude. You will be banned for this. And also, I will curse you. You will never learn how to speak English fluently. Okay. I'm just kidding, of course. Don't be afraid of me. I'm not a witch. I'm just your English and effective communication coach. Okay. And like I said, stay till the end, because at the very end, you will get a bonus, your personal roadmap to improving English. Okay. So let me now quickly introduce who we are and who I am. Well, we are English for IT. And we have, like I said this word before already, we have a flagship product. It's the course called English for Tech. English for Tech course, as you already know from James yesterday, we are giving an exclusive 35% off on our flagship course, English for Tech. This is a 2025 edition. It's completely renewed and upgraded course. And for example, if you have taken this course before, you will find a lot of new information here. So a lot of modern and updated information here. So take it again. If you've never taken this course, but you work in IT or you want to work in IT, this is a must-take course for you. So please do it. Take the course with the 25% off if you use promo code early, right? Like they say, it's better late than never, but it's better to learn English early than later, right? Earlier than later. That's it. About me, I'm Anna Gandrabura. I'm actually the founder of the company English for IT, and I am the course creator. I am the creator of English for Tech. So in the course, you will find videos with me, but also you will find some other videos and audios with the other instructors from English for IT. The majority of videos in the course are with me. So you will be able to learn with me and from me. That's why, for example, if you've seen me for the first time during this webinar, and if you like my manner of teaching, please join our team, right? Join the course group and let's learn English together. I'm also, like I said, I'm the founder of English for IT. I've been teaching English for over 15 years, founded English for IT more than 10 years ago. And I'm also a social media influencer. You can find me online, but also you can find the English for IT account, Instagram account online. We share useful tips and tricks on Instagram, but also on YouTube. Every Friday we post one free video lesson on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and on Friday, expect a new video lesson. So this is quickly about me. English for IT Instagram is here. It's English_for_IT. You see, if you didn't know how to name this, like lower dash in English, it's called underscore. Please give us a follow and learn English on Instagram. And that's pretty much it. This is a quick intro, and I'm ready to get to it. First of all, I have a few quick questions here, and you please let me know in the comments, okay? Do you feel that you are stuck? Do you feel that your English has been stuck at the same level for a long time? For example, you are intermediate and you've been intermediate for 2 years. You're not moving anywhere. Or you are pre-intermediate and you don't feel that you are ready to become an intermediate. So tell me, please, if you feel this way. Yes or no? Do you feel stuck or not stuck? Another question. Do you ever feel that learning English is difficult because everything is either too easy or too hard? And don't be surprised. Sometimes when you're learning English, you feel that the material you have is super easy and it's not interesting. You're not learning like many new things. And that's why it's easy. So like you're not motivated enough. And sometimes on the other hand, you are taking a course, for example, and the material is too difficult, or even you are learning English with a teacher, with a private teacher, and the lessons materials are too difficult, and it's also demotivating. Do you ever feel this way, or have you ever felt this way? Let me know in the comments, please. Another thing, have you ever heard these words from people, for example, at work, that you need to improve your English, and you need to improve your communication skills, because soft skills, it's communication skills, how to communicate with people. So has it ever happened to you that your boss, your manager, your colleague told you, yeah, you might need to improve English, or you might need to improve communication skills? Well, tell me if any of these situations that I've just described is true for you. I'm pretty sure that at least one situation might be true for you, or you experience similar situations. And when I say similar situations, I mean situations where you feel not confident about your communication skills in English, when you can't say something, when you can't understand something, when you can't write something, and you feel completely discouraged and demotivated. But here's the thing. I will teach you in this hour right now how to feel more confident about your English at work. Okay, so today we're talking about work English, and we all work in tech, or we want to work in tech. We want to we want to be better professionals in tech, right? And it doesn't matter what our job in tech is. By the way, I see in the comments someone is saying, "Is this course okay if I'm a customer support manager or a customer support engineer?" Guys, it doesn't matter your job, right? It doesn't matter what your job is in tech. English for Tech course is great for any job, for technical job and for non-technical job. And I will tell you why. Because in this course, you will be able to improve vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation and listening, speaking and writing, and soft skills. And you will be able to improve both tech, not actually both. You will improve technical vocabulary, technical language, business language, and general language. So every lesson will introduce you to business, tech, and general vocabulary, business, tech, and general grammar, and business, tech, pronunciation, and listening. So it's a combination of general business and tech English and soft skills at the same time. So let's dive into it step by step, and let's see what kind of vocabulary will you be learning, what kind of grammar is important to know if you want to speak fluently at work and full work in tech, and other things. I'm ready. Are you ready? Because we're gonna start with vocabulary. I feel like this is one of the learners' favorite topics, right? And I'm not gonna judge you for this, because technically vocabulary is really important, because if you don't know words, you're not able to say anything. If you don't know words, you can't understand what people are saying. That is why it's important to know words, but it's also important to know phrases. And like James said at this webinar, at his webinar yesterday, if you remember, he was talking about chunks, right? Do you remember? Who remembers this word from yesterday? Chunks, right? So chunks, these are phrases. These are expressions that you should learn. And if you learn chunks, right, if you learn these expressions, it's easier for you to speak, and it's easier to understand people. And in my webinar, I am going to share with you some popular and modern vocabulary, but also I will show you where you can learn it, okay? And this is actually how we teach in the course, how we teach vocabulary in the course. Because oftentimes when you learn English, you just use a book, right? But the book is old. The book might be 10, 15 years old. If you work in IT, you can't learn English with the book that is 10 years old, because the IT industry changes so rapidly, the language changes so rapidly, the technology changes so rapidly. You can't be learning English or anything else based on books that are 10 plus years old. But how you can learn modern vocabulary? You can learn modern vocabulary on the internet, of course. For example, Twitter, one of my favorite resources to teach English for tech and business English, using Twitter, because people use Twitter a lot for tech communication, for like talking about tech and talking about business. So you can find real modern life, or I don't know, life vocabulary. It sounds funny. Real modern vocabulary around tech and business. For example, like this tweet: I'm starting to realize when hiring if you, I'm starting to realize when hiring, if you want someone really good, creating a job board posting isn't going to cut it. So what we have here, we have an idiom, we have an expression. A job board posting, a post about a new job, and isn't going to cut it, isn't good enough. So that's an idiom. You see, so for example, if you are on Twitter and you see a tweet, and tweet is only one sentence, and you see this one sentence, you can read it pretty quickly. And if you can see one new word, one new expression, you can translate it, and that's how you learn it. So in the course, when you join the course, you will actually find a lot of tweets that we use in the videos, that I use in the videos to teach new vocabulary, to teach grammar, and you will be able to learn English in context. Here's another one. I think this from our team members. So you see, this material is super authentic. What is authentic? Authentic, it means it's real, right? It's real, it's natural, it's really authentic. So somebody wrote it. It was a work chat, but informal work chat, as you can see. Yeah, it wasn't like a chat with a client. It was a chat between two colleagues who are like work friends, right? So that's what the person says. Let me think on it and come up with something in the morning. Going to Z now. So this message contains slang, as you can see. That's why I said this message is not with the client, because you don't want to use slang with the client, right? With the client, you want to use more formal language. But with colleagues, it's fine to be more informal. So let's take a look, and please write it down. Do you have a notebook and pen with you now? Can you write down these expressions? Because I really want you to remember them. And for example, when I'm learning my Spanish, I always have my notebook with me where I write down the words that I learned during the lesson with my instructor. So you should do the same thing, okay? By the way, are there any Spanish speakers in the chat? Say hi. Let's support each other. Oh, I mean, if you're a native English speaker, you can support me. But if you're also learning, if you're a native Spanish speaker, you can support me, because I'm learning it. If you are learning Spanish, you can just say hi and we can support each other. All right. So let me think on it. In other words, let me sleep on it. There is an expression, let me sleep on it. It's like, let me think about it, right? So this is an idiom. So let me sleep on it, or let me think on it. It's an idiom. Come up with something. It's think of an idea. Think of an idea. Create an idea. To come up with, to think of an idea, or to create an idea. And I'm going to Z. Z means sleep. I'm going to sleep. Yeah, so that's about it. Hola chicos, hola hispanohablantes. I see only one person. That's a bummer. I thought there were more hispanohablantes. Anyways, so that's how you learn it, right? Like I said, in the course, we gathered snippets, pieces. Snippet is a piece, right? We gathered pieces of such content from Twitter, from LinkedIn, from Slack, where we are going to teach you this real language that is used in tech. Now I would like to tell you how you can actually improve your vocabulary. So to improve your vocabulary, you need to learn more words. So here's the difference. When we talk about, becoming more advanced, it's when we talk about, becoming more advanced in terms of vocabulary, it's technically learning more advanced phrases for words that you already know, or for phrases that you already know. Let me give you an example. Let me show you what I mean here. For example, you know the expression in addition, right? Do you guys know what it means, in addition? I'm pretty sure you know. Do you know the advanced phrase, an advanced synonym of the phrase in addition? Write it in the chat, please, if you do. An advanced synonym of the phrase in addition. Anyone? Anyone? Let's go. On top of that, great job. On top of that, exactly. Or yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more than one synonym there. So on top of that is a more advanced way of saying in addition. So if you know more than one way of saying one and the same thing, this is when you can call yourself advanced. So your goal is to know more than two ways, more than one way of talking about one and the same thing, right? That's when you're English advanced. To help you with this, I'm going to share with you 20 advanced phrases for work so that you can make your vocabulary more advanced right away. I think you will have the link in the chat so you can download it. Yes, you can download the free PDF with the 20 advanced phrases for work. Just like I just showed you, you will see, you will have a basic word, you will have an advanced alternative, and you will have an example of how to use this phrase in context, in sentence, right? So this is how you actually improve your vocabulary. Just learn more advanced alternatives. And then the next question is, okay, so you learned more advanced alternatives, you know many words, you know cliche phrases, you can speak in chunks, but how do you actually understand native English speakers better? Well, I have some recommendations here as well. To be able to understand native speakers better, knowing these advanced vocabulary and chunks, cliche phrases will definitely help you. Because here's the thing, native speakers use a lot of idioms. Native speakers use a lot of fixed expressions. So if you know these idioms, if you know these fixed expressions, it will be easier for you to understand native English speakers. Another thing, if you want to understand native English speakers better, you need to learn from modern, authentic resources, just like the course English for Tech, right? You have to ditch outdated textbooks. When I say ditch, ditch means forget about, right? You have to forget about outdated textbooks. Old textbooks, like I said, they don't really work. I don't know if you can hear it, but this is pretty unfortunate. It never happened before. But of course, when I'm doing the live webinar, someone is doing the repair upstairs probably. So I apologize for the noise. I don't know if you could hear it or not, because sometimes, the technology, maybe this one you could. The technology is good now that it can sound block things. So yeah, ditch means forget about it, throw it away, right? So throw your textbook away, your old textbooks away. I don't know, guys, if you can hear it. I can hear it pretty loudly. So I apologize for that, but it's not going to stop us, because we are unstoppable, and you definitely need this moment. Yeah, it's a Murphy's law. It's a Murphy's law, absolutely. So another thing is, like I said, if you want to understand native English speakers at work, right, your clients or your colleagues, you need to understand, I don't know, you need to understand your career goals, and you need to learn specific English, right? Because, for example, your English may be great on the general level, but when you have to talk about work, it's not as great, right? When you have to talk about business, you're struggling. That is why we created English for Tech, not English for business, for example, not English for business, but English for Tech, so that people, so that people who are, I can't do anything, so that people who are in tech can improve their language. Yeah, I know, guys. There is a problem with the sound, because there is my upstairs neighbors just started drilling. Unfortunately, there is no way I could have known about this. There's no way I could have known about this. But let me tell you how. Tell me if this is really bad, or if you can hear me or not. Let me know. Let's have the moment of venting here. And at the same time, I'm going to teach you a new word here. To vent, it's to complain about things that we don't like. Like, for example, after this webinar, I'm going to call my friend and I'm going to vent to my friend how unfortunate it was that my neighbors started drilling while I was doing a live webinar. It's called venting. So there you go. There you go. You have a new word. So you see, you have to always find a silver lining. You know this other phrase, silver lining? Silver lining is when you see positive things in negative events. So the full idiom goes like this: every cloud has a silver lining. You know, when we talk about cloud, a rainy cloud, it's gray. But if there is, but behind clouds there is sun, and it has like the cloud may have like a silver lining because of the sun rays. So that's where the idiom is from. Every cloud has a silver lining. So we say there is always a silver lining in everything. I just taught you a new word: to vent, to complain about a situation that happened to you, an unfortunate situation that you don't like. Okay, moving on. Now I want you, well, first of all, tell me, how many words and phrases, how many new words and phrases have you written down so far? Because you told me that you all have your notebooks with you and you're writing down your vocabulary. So how many have you written down so far? Share in the chat. I want to know how many you have learned already, besides those 20 phrases that I have shared with you in the PDF. Remember? So I'm pretty sure you will learn more phrases from this PDF. But now I would like to move forward with pronunciation. So let's see what are the common pronunciation mistakes that non-native English speakers make when they talk about work, yeah, when they talk about tech. For example, number one mistake, and you know what? I've been teaching this, and I've been teaching English for IT for more than 10 years. And I thought that probably everyone already knows that tech is pronounced as tech. But you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Last week, the English for IT team went to a tech conference in Ukraine, and they told me, Anna, we were surprised. There's so many people don't know how to pronounce the word tech, because a lot of people say tech. Yeah, we all know that ch in English can be pronounced as ch, right? Or as k. For example, tech is k. It's tech. The next word is launch. It's not lunch. A lot of people say lunch. No, lunch is food, but launch is the start of the project, like the project launch, for example, right? When you are releasing something. Automate. Now, here's the thing you need to remember. It's easy here. When you have a letter combination, A and U, it always pronounces as O, both in British and American English, by the way. Automate, not automate, not automate. It's automate. For example, automobile, authentication. If you work in IT, right, like to log in, you need to authenticate. Authentication, for example, it's O, just O. Next one is month, right? Or in this word is pronounced as a. For example, how many months do we need for this project, right? It's month, not months. Recruiter. Here, the problem is with the stress. And believe it or not, a lot of pronunciation mistakes are made with the wrong stress, because of the wrong stress. And here is the thing, pronunciation mistakes are not just the sound mistakes, they are stress mistakes as well. So for example, when you say recruiter, people are not going to understand you, but you didn't really make any pronunciation mistakes in sounds. You just used the wrong stress and people won't be able to understand you. That's why you say recruiter, not recruiter. Next, company. That's a tricky word. We write company like months, right? Like month, but we don't say months. We don't say company. We say company. So it's like a sound, a short a sound, company. Say it together with me, by the way, while you're watching this webinar and while I'm saying and explaining all of this, please repeat after me. Company, company. Great. And finally, where are you going? I'm going to Europe, not Europe, but Europe, Europe. I'm going to Europe. I work for a European company. Let's do it. I work for a European company. Autumn. Automate. Autumn. Yeah. Well, autumn might be something different there as well. Auxiliary. Yeah. Great job. Great job. So, how you can actually fix your pronunciation bugs? One of the like go-to tools that I have been using myself all all the time is going to Google and just in the search bar, I put the word that I'm not sure how to pronounce, and I just say, for example, authentication pronunciation. And Google gives you this like picture that you can see now on my slide, where you can actually click and listen to the words pronunciation, and you can actually choose between American version and the British version. So, for example, if you speak British English and you want to know how this word is pronounced in British, you just pick that, and in American you pick that as well. Now, in the age of AI, besides this method, I would also just use ChatGPT. Like you can just ask ChatGPT to tell you how to pronounce a certain word. That's it. And ChatGPT is going to respond you in voice, so you can actually hear how it is pronounced. So there are two ways for you now to improve your pronunciation, right? Using Google, a more old school approach, or using ChatGPT. So you can use either technically. Yeah. So this is what I have about pronunciation. And like I said, let me summarize the pronunciation part here. You need to focus on correct pronunciation, not the accent, though. You see, I saw that early in the chat, somebody was talking about sometimes the accent is hard to understand. Yeah, if the accent is really, really strong, that it makes it hard for you to understand the person, then the accent is a problem. But usually, accent is not the problem for understanding. Pronunciation is the problem for understanding, because you can have your accent, you can have your Argentinian accent, you can have your Ukrainian accent, you can have your Brazilian accent. It's People will be able to understand you if you pronounce the words correctly. But even if you don't have the accent, like for example, I don't have big accent. I mean, I have a little bit of an accent, but like I don't have huge accent, so accent is not my problem. But sometimes native speakers might not understand me because I say words incorrectly. Well, hopefully it doesn't happen many times. But if it happens, this is because of my pronunciation, not the accent. So don't worry about your accent. You're fine as long as it's not super strong, but worry about your pronunciation. Okay. So that's important. And another thing, like I said, pronunciation problems are not just mispronounced sounds. It's also wrong stress in the words, right? Like when you say, for example, not instead of saying comfortable, you say comfortable. So what's happening here? You are putting stress on the wrong part of the word, and then to a native speaker, this word is unrecognizable, not possible to understand. So that's about pronunciation. And the best part, do you know, like one of the favorite parts of the course? Thank you very much. One of the favorite parts of the course, of the English for Tech course, that our alumni and students reported is pronunciation part. We included pronunciation lesson in every module. So in every module, you will have pronunciation practice. And I did it personally because I have been an English teacher for all my life, and I saw that pronunciation is overlooked. Overlooked means people don't pay a lot of attention. Teachers don't pay a lot of attention to pronunciation. And there are not so much pronunciation practice in textbooks. I wanted to change this. So when we created our course, English for Tech, we included a lot of pronunciation practice in the course. So you will have amazing pronunciation lessons. Like I said, our students love them. And you will have pronunciation practice on the platform. Because on the platform, on our platform, you are able to practice speaking and pronunciation. So you are able to record yourself, to when practicing pronunciation, you're able to record yourself when practicing speaking, and then you can receive feedback from your mentor about your pronunciation activity and about your speaking activity. So that's how we do it in the course. Now I'm ready to move on to the next part of our fiesta. I wanted to say fiesta, of party, of our fest. Yeah, fiesta is a Spanish for fest. Maybe one day I'll become a Spanish teacher. Who knows? Just kidding. No, I just want to be a Spanish fluent speaker, just like you want to be an English fluent speaker. So I'm helping you with this one. So I'm ready to move into grammar and share with you 5 grammar hacks for tech professionals. Are you ready to dive into grammar or not? And I know what you're going to tell me right away now. I know that you're going to be like, probably grammar is not my number one priority because of my friend ChatGPT. ChatGPT, right? Of course, we all use ChatGPT, as we should, right? I'm not saying like you should stop using ChatGPT, but you know what? If you use ChatGPT and you blindly trust it, like with your eyes closed, you blindly trust ChatGPT, you are, I don't want to use the bad word, but you know what I wanted to say, right? If you blindly trust ChatGPT, you are screwed. Oh, there you go. This is a polite way of saying F word. You say, you're screwed. You are screwed. Yeah. So technically, you're not going to be able to understand what ChatGPT is telling you. And then, for example, here, let me see, let me, if tell me if you can see this well. Like, for example, an email, right? Writing the email with ChatGPT is a no-brainer. No-brainer is another cool phrase. No-brainer, easy task. It's an easy task. You can just tell ChatGPT to write an email for you and then copy paste it. And then you are screwed because are you sure the language is correct? For example, ChatGPT will probably give you a very formal version. In tech, for example, we don't use formal English as we use, for example, in banking industry, for example, right? In tech, we use semi-formal style, not super formal, but semi-formal style. Here's the difference. Here's what ChatGPT wrote, and then I'm going to show you what I actually wrote without ChatGPT. So ChatGPT says, "Dear Kashif, I hope this message finds you well. Zana, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for extending the invitation to participate in your podcast. Regarding the next steps, I'm eager to discuss the details further. Please feel free to suggest a convenient time for a primary discussion to align on the agenda and logistics. I eagerly anticipate your response and the opportunity to work together." This email is great. This email is great, but it is too formal for the tech industry. In the tech industry, especially if it's like not a client communication, when you know people personally, when you have been in contact with people for some time, you need to use more relaxed and more informal language. This is what I actually wrote, and you can see this is a real screenshot here. Great to hear from you. Zana, nice to meet you. I'll be delighted to join your podcast. Looking forward to getting more details from you about the next steps. First of all, it's shorter because we don't have a lot of time to read like unnecessary lines, like I said, in semi-formal style of communication. And technically it's friendlier and it's more approachable, and you are building connections with people, not with robots. That is why you can use ChatGPT for writing, but make sure you read what it wrote for you, and make sure you edit what is necessary to be edited. And like I said, this is what you're going to learn in the course. You're going to learn the difference between different style of writing, for example, and how to use also like how to use AI to help you with it and to be your ally, your friend, not your enemy. Because you won't believe it how many horror stories I heard from managers about their employees or even other managers using ChatGPT, and screwing themselves over. All right, now let me talk about 5 grammar hacks that you need to know in order to improve your English grammar quickly. But we're talking about English grammar for tech. Well, here's the thing. One more thing about the English for Tech course and why we created it and why it is only 2 months, by the way, because you might ask me the question like, Anna, can you really learn English in 2 months? No, you can't learn English in 2 months, but you can upgrade your English in 2 months. But also, we're not talking about general English. We're talking about specific niche or niche. Niche is British, niche is American. We're talking about specific niche. That is why there are certain secret things that we know, the English variety knows, that we are sharing with you, and I'm sharing with you right now. And one of these secret tips and secret things is that because you are learning English for tech, it's very narrow, it's very specific. So you don't need to learn all grammar. You don't need that because when you need to communicate for work in tech, you're going to be using the same tenses most of the time. And I will give you an example now. You'll be using the same constructions, grammar constructions all of the time. So if you learn these tenses, if you learn these constructions, then you will improve your English grammar and you will stop making mistakes when you communicate at work with your colleagues, with your clients, etc. So you need to master 8 fundamental tenses, and I'm going to talk about these tenses. You need to learn not just tenses, but grammar phrases. Grammar phrases. You need to understand the tone of voice, like I just said, a semi-formal, formal, informal. You need to learn how to use articles correctly. You need to learn grammar from real life cases. This is how actually we teach grammar in the course. I take a real life case from tech and I break it down into grammar rules. And that's how I show you how you use specific grammar in specific real life situations. So let's first talk about tenses, grammar tenses, right? Like I said, for grammar tenses and grammar phrases, you need to understand the tenses, but also there are phrases that you need to understand. For example, the phrase to be used to, right? For example, you can say, I used to run every morning, but now I don't. So used to is not actually a tense, but it is a grammar phrase that talks about past. And if you know this phrase, you know how to talk about past, right? Let me know if you know this phrase, right? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, perfect. You know this phrase. And the good part, by the way, if you guys didn't know about it, but we also have a book. It's called Grammar Phrase Book, where we collected 30 most common grammar phrases that can help you speak English better and use better grammar. So if you're curious to check it out, you will see the link in the chat as well, or you can just go to our website and find the grammar phrase book. And this is a really valuable resource. Now let's talk about grammar tenses. First of all, you will of course need to master simple tenses. Present simple, past simple, future simple, right? I write code, I wrote code, I will write code. We all know this is easier. But make sure you master these tenses so that you don't make silly mistakes or stupid mistakes, right? Master continuous tenses and going to. For example, present continuous. I'm discussing this issue right now. Future continuous. I will be discussing these issues in our next meeting. And going to is not a continuous tense. It's another grammar construction that looks like a continuous form, but it is used for future. I'm going to discuss these issues tomorrow. And actually, this construction is used more often by native speakers when talking about future than will, because most of English learners, when talking about future, they say will. I will do this, for example, in a stand-up meeting. Your manager is asking you, what are you going to do next? And you like, I will fix this bug. No, it's incorrect. You should say, I'm going to fix this bug, because you're talking about, you know what? I'm already teaching you a solid grammar lesson here, because you're talking about your plans. And every time you talk about plans, you have to say, I'm going to, not will. Okay, this is all very interesting. I love teaching grammar, and I recorded some cool grammar lessons for you in the course. Perfect tenses, present perfect, for things that you have just for things you have already done. I have sent the emails. Present perfect continuous, something started in the past and still continue. It still continuous, right? It's still continuing. We have been sending emails for over 2 hours, right? Or I have been teaching English for over 10 years, or I have been working as a software engineer for 5 years, and things like that. Next, tone of voice. I've already said many things about this, so we can just skip it. There is formal. For example, would you like me to review the requirements? There is semi-formal. Do you want me to review the requirements? And there is informal. You want me to review the requirements. You have to know the difference. And also you have to understand when ChatGPT is using the wrong tone of voice before you send that email that ChatGPT wrote for you or instead of you. Articles. Well, articles, here's the thing. Articles is difficult because, I mean, the topic of articles is difficult because not every language has articles, right? English has articles, and the easiest, I'm going to tell you this way. This is like the whole big topic, but I'm going to give you one tip here. If you want to learn how to use articles correctly, learn fixed expressions with articles. Yeah, or or just learn chunks again, like James mentioned yesterday. Like learn parts of the sentences with articles and memorize these articles. For example, I will reach out to QA team. No, I will reach out to the QA team. Now, next time you want to say a similar sentence, but it's not QA team, it's, for example, development team. It's going to be the same thing. Instead of QA, you say development, but the is going to be there. I will reach out to the development team. Or I work in tech industry. No, I work in the tech industry. It should be like a cliche phrase that you need to memorize. I work in the tech industry, or I work in the IT industry. He's a full stack. You see, I couldn't even say it incorrectly because it just engraved. It's written in my brain. He is a full stack developer, because with the name of the job, we always say A or N. That's how it works. Okay. Yeah. So that's my tip with articles. And finally, like I already said, learning English from real life cases is the best. And like I said in the course, here you can see a screenshot of our platform. That, by the way, I'm very proud of our platform. We built it in-house. This is the platform that we built for ourselves. Shout out to the team, to our development team, right? So learning grammar through real life cases, like I said, for the video lesson, I took a real life situation from tech and I broke it down. I talk about the situation, and I talk about what grammar you're gonna have to use in order to speak about the situation. So, for example, what grammar do you need for a stand-up meeting? So there is a lesson where I talk about 3 grammar tenses you must know and you must master to speak fluently in a stand-up meeting with your team and with your manager. So that's what I mean when I talk about real life cases. Now let's talk about speaking finally, right? How can you find opportunities to practice speaking anywhere at any time? Well, it's easier. So my tips are going to be easy tips to practice speaking. Speak to yourself. Speak to yourself. Well, actually, now with ChatGPT, you don't even need to speak to yourself. You can just open your ChatGPT and you can say, "Hey, I want to practice English. Can we have a conversation? Ask me a few questions about the weather or about my work or something like that." And even if you do this like 2 minutes a day, extra, that will be great. Also, you can record yourself on camera. Imagine that you are famous blogger or an influencer, and you record a story for your blog, and you speak about you speak about something. I actually do this when I practice my speaking, when I don't have, so I have an online course that I'm taking, and also I have a private teacher, so like I do many things, right, to improve my Spanish. But also I talk to myself, I record myself speaking Spanish, and then I listen to my recording, and I notice mistakes. I notice how I said something wrong, how I could improve it, and things like that. So that is going to help you improve your speaking skills. Another easy tip to practice speaking is to read out loud. You have a book in English? If you have any English books, just open it and read it out loud. Well, this is not going to improve your fluency, right? It's not going to make you a fluent speaker, but it's going to improve your pronunciation, your intonation, and your familiarity with the words, sentences, and etc. So reading out loud really helps, like I said, with pronunciation, with intonation, and it makes you more comfortable with English structures and constructions. And another easy tip, probably not, you're going to say, Anna, it's easier said than done. Here's another idiom for you. Easier said than done. Speak up in work meetings. But you know what? I can't emphasize this enough. Speaking in meetings is really important. What happens is that because you are not confident about your English, you tend to say nothing when you are in a meeting. You are mute. And it's really bad for you, because when you're mute, people think that you don't work. They don't think you don't understand English. They don't think you're shy. They don't think you are not confident. They don't think that. They think you are a bad worker. So think about it. Next time you say nothing in the meeting, somebody in this meeting probably thinks that you are not a great professional. Do you want them to think that? I don't think so. So start speaking in meetings, okay? Another great tip about your speaking and about your like performance in general, you need to get feedback, right? So for example, when you practice something, you want to know how you're doing, because feedback means growing, right? When people tell you, when people correct your mistakes, for example, right, when they tell you what you said incorrectly, how like to help you, that's feedback, and this feedback helps you grow. So this is the most effective way to practice speaking, when you get feedback. That is why in the course, when you practice speaking in our course, you receive feedback from our mentor, and you can see where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are and where your mistakes are, and you can correct your mistakes. That's why it's really important when you take a course to have a mentor who can correct your mistakes. For example, the speaking task, like I said, you can record yourself on the platform, on our platform, and then you will receive feedback from the mentor with the pointing out mistakes, how to correct them, and other recommendation on how you can improve. And finally, I want to talk about soft skills before we call it a day. There's another idiom. I'm on fire today, I guess, with all these idioms. Call it a day, finish it, right? Call it a day. There is actually another idiom, call it a night, believe it or not. What do you think call it a night mean? Call it a day, it's to finish. To finish your work. Usually you actually use this idiom at work. For example, when you're ready to go home or shut your laptop, you can say, I'm ready to call it a day. Do you need anything? Call it a night. This is when you are ready to leave the party. I'm ready to call it a night. It's like I'm ready to leave the party. I'm ready to go to bed, or go to bed, right? Yeah, so that's the difference. So speaking about soft skills, guys, soft skills, top soft skills to master in 2025. First of all, have you ever heard the term T-shaped professional? A T-shaped professional. Here's the thing: many employers, actually every employer, every employer is looking for T-shaped professionals. So what is a T-shaped professional? This is when you have solid hard skills and they top up with soft skills. And what I mean here, soft skills, they are your communication skills, right? Soft skills are the skills that help you collaborate and interact with other people. So, for example, if you're a software engineer, your hard skill is writing code, but your soft skill is to be a team player, to be a public speaker, to be a leader of the team, to be an effective communicator, to be an empathetic person, to be an emotionally intelligent person. These are your soft skills. So hard soft skills are applicable to any profession, right? So for example, your hard skills are specific for your job, but soft skills, they also called transferable skills. You can if you decide to change your job, you can transfer your soft skills to a new job. For example, today you're a software engineer, tomorrow you decide to become an English teacher. You can take your soft skills with you, but your hard skills are not needed if you are an English teacher, for example, right? So soft skills, top soft skills that employers look for: communication, of course, it's number one. Effective communication, especially with different cultures, because we all work in multicultural teams and you need to understand how different cultures communicate. Number two is feedback. Your ability to ask for feedback, your ability to share feedback with others, and your ability to react to feedback correctly, right? Not get upset, not start crying when somebody is giving you constructive feedback, but to know how to react. Number three is coachability. You know, coach, at the beginning of the webinar, I told you, I'm Anna, I'm your English and effective communication coach, right? Coachability, in other words, the synonym is learnability. It's your ability to learn things, and it's your ability to learn things from others and to keep an open mind, right? So it's your ability to be a student no matter how old you are. So now tell me in the comments, do you do you think you're coachable? Do you feel as if you're a student even though you are 30, 40, 50 years old? Let me know in the comments if you feel that you are a life learned student. Adaptability, it's another major soft skill, because now the world, I mean, we live in the world that is changing so rapidly, so unexpectedly. That's why if you can adapt to changes, you are wanted, right? You know, like this is what companies want, and this is what employers want. So if you improve these soft skills, and if you focus on improving these soft skills, you will definitely never be out of job, right? Like you will always have the job that you love, and every company will want you. So focus on this one. Okay, now I think it's logical to ask you guys, are you ready to become a better communicator in English? And here I'm talking about English and soft skills, because you see, communicator in English and soft skills. Well, you can choose self-learning or learning together with the best. Self-learning is also possible, but it's longer. You're probably going to lose motivation very quickly. You're going to make many mistakes and receive no feedback. When you learn with the best, with the English for IT, you can practice with mentors. You will stay motivated till the end of the course. You will stay disciplined till the end of the course, and you will achieve your goals quickly. So now you can decide self-learning or learning with the best. Let me know what you prefer. You can do both, by the way. By the way, learning with the best does not happen without self-learning. So self-learning should be there for sure. But if you want fast results, you have to join the gang. I want to say, join the tribe. Yeah. If you want English for IT to be your mentor, if you really liked, how we deliver the content, what kind of content we have. You've already been to 2 webinars with 2 different instructors from English for IT, with James and myself. So if you want English for IT, the English for IT team to be your mentors, join the English for Tech course. As a reminder, you probably know a few things already. You need this course if you want to get a higher salary and a better job. If you don't have a lot of time to learn English, but you really need to be fluent quickly. And remember, the course is only 2 months. And I already told you why it's only 2 months, because it's very specific. It's narrow. It's specific for IT. So we're not going to teach you everything. We're not going to teach you about tomatoes, cucumbers, and things like this. We're going to teach you specifically for work. If you want quick results, join the course. If you want to speak, not just learn, if you want to practice, right, not just read, if you want to achieve your goals, join the course. And one of the key things about this course is that we use the bite-sized learning technique, which means that you learn in small portions but consistently every day. Just like the picture in this on the slide, right? You don't eat the apple whole, right? You take individual bites, and that's how you don't choke. That's how you like can eat the whole apple. The same with English. You don't need to study English for 1 hour every day, or for 2 hours or 3 hours 3 times a day. No, you need even like 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, and but every day. And at the end of a month, you will see amazing progress. The program, like I said, it's very specific, it's very niche, it's tech oriented, and it's updated as well. Like I said, if you have taken this course before, you're going to find a lot of new material here. If you've never taken this course before, you're so lucky, because it's super modern. You're going to be the first one testing it out, because we are releasing it this a month, right? We are just going to release it. Nobody has ever taken the course. Super new material. I just recorded new videos for the course. And another great thing about the course, you can receive a certificate. It's actually a blockchain verified certificate. So we wrote a program that issues blockchain verified certificates for you. You can add the certificate to your LinkedIn profile. You can share the certificate with your employer and ask for a raise, for example, because every employer actually values a self-development. So even if they didn't ask you to take any courses, but you I don't know, at performance review, for example, you say, here's the progress that I made in the 6 months, and I completed the course, and here's a certificate. Trust me, this is enough motivation. This is enough ground for you to ask for a raise or for a promotion. As I mentioned before, the course is one of a kind. One of a kind is unique. By the way, this is actually what I said earlier. Advanced vocabulary, basic vocabulary. Basic vocabulary is unique. Advanced vocabulary, one of a kind. So you see, instead of saying unique, as you can see on the slide, I used a different word, a more advanced, not a word, a phrase, advanced phrase, one of a kind. So this course is one of a kind because you have speaking practice in every lesson, and you can receive feedback from your mentor. You learn from real world situations, and you have authentic materials. We don't use textbooks when we're creating this. It's all authentic, based on real life events. And you will see a lot of screenshots from my personal emails, not personal, I mean from my work emails, from some social media like Twitter or LinkedIn. You will be fascinated. And now tell me if you're ready. Are you ready to change your career for the better? Not only career, but also life. Because remember, when you improve your English for work, your life improves as well, because you get a promotion, you work for a better company, you can move to a different country, you can work on a more successful and bigger project. So everything changes with English. It's not just about work, it's about life. So are you ready to change your career? Are you ready to change your life for the better? Let me know. Yes or no? Just answer it for yourself. Even if you're not going to join the course, you can still do other things to change your career and life for the better through English. I shared so many things today, and you have written so many new words. You're already changing your English for the better, and your life and career for the better. So if you're ready to take the next steps, join the course, get 35% off using the code early. And in the course, we have 3 packages, by the way. We have a junior package, we have a middle package, and a senior package. Now, there's the thing. Our most popular package is middle package, to be honest. Here is why. Junior package has all course content, but it doesn't have feedback. So this is good for someone who wants to be super independent and they don't care about feedback and don't care about certificate. The middle package has mentor feedback, has certificate. You can receive the certificate. And senior package has everything that middle has, plus it has small group live lessons. So if you want certificate and mentor feedback, get middle. If you want certificate, mentor feedback, plus not individual, plus group lessons every week during the course, then get a senior package. That's what you can get. And you can see the prices here on the slide as well. Now I want you to head over to the website and pick the package that you want. And once you've picked the package, you can pay for the course, and you can start the course right away. Yeah, so you will be able to start the course the moment you pay for it. And yeah, don't forget about the promo code early. And yeah, I'll see you in the course technically. Now, a minute for your questions. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, maybe, I'll be happy to address them, of course. In the meantime, while you are writing your questions, I would like to thank everyone for joining today. Thank you so much for being a wonderful crowd. Thank you so much for being active in the chat. Thank you so much for investing in yourself. Yeah, I know we sometimes forget to thank ourselves for doing so much. And, for example, instead of watching TV, or instead of doing nothing, or instead of doom scrolling or watching TikToks, you came here and you invested this time in yourself. Thank you so much for picking me and English for IT to be your mentors and to spend this time together. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words. Hopefully I will see you soon. Our Tech English Fest is not over. It's only day 3, I guess. We have 4 more days to go. So please don't forget to do your tasks that we share with you in our Telegram channel. And don't forget to attend other events and webinars that we are sharing with you, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch my videos and tell me what you think. Thank you so much. Till the next time. Bye.